Hello and welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. I am so happy you're here. Today I'm going to be discussing the Buy Nothing Rebellion, which is a more recent trend. And by the way, can I just say, I am so pleased with our community that this even is a trend. Like, this is something that is trending on YouTube, on social media. A lot of people are talking about this. A lot of people are very fired up and passionate about this. And I think that's so amazing. I really feel like there is a movement building, like there's some momentum building around this idea of anti-consumption and not just going out and shopping and spending all of your money and falling for all of these marketing lies of corporations. And I'll get further into that in the video, but I just want to say I'm proud of you, and I'm just so pleased that this is trending. So if you don't know, the Buy Nothing Rebellion is a global movement where people are protesting against consumer culture by refusing to participate in it. Living in a period of lack can really do a lot of good for a lot of people. It can really reset you, and I think it's even just worth trying out, even if you kind of have this notion about yourself that it might not work for you. It's worth trying out, but I really do think it can lead to binge spending in the end, and I think it's worth approaching in a more nuanced, balanced way than completely cutting out all spending whatsoever. Like, I just don't really think that's realistic for most people. So this No Buy Rebellion kind of piggybacks off of this, and it's approaching a no buy from a new perspective. I think in the past, no buys have been more personal, about personal spending and getting your own shopping habits under control to get your finances under control. But the no buy rebellion is more of a global statement, like maybe even a political statement, I would say, about consumer culture in general and how we feel about corporations selling to us and the products that they're selling to us, the quality of those products, the lies they're telling us through marketing, and the different psychological manipulation tactics that companies use to sell us their items that we don't need. I think a lot of people are really feeling the pinch these days with inflation, and I, for one, have been feeling lately like no matter how much more money I make, it kind of feels like I'm not progressing. Like, my lifestyle is not getting any better because I can't afford a better lifestyle. I think it is easy to look around and compare ourselves and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. Like, I don't have what other people have. And I definitely am feeling the pressure of inflation. Like, it's not as easy as I thought it would be at this point in my life. I'm in my 30s. I really thought finances would be a little bit more like flowing and easy and not as stressful as they are at this point in my life, like at this point in my career. I do want to recognize that I have made some gains in my lifestyle. 5 years ago, I was living in a really unsafe neighborhood, and my home was actually burglarized. It was a pretty traumatic experience, and one that I've only recently felt like I've kind of moved past and gotten over. But I did struggle living alone for a long time, and I still do have a security system and everything, but I purposely went out of my way to live in a safer area, and that came with a more hefty price tag in order to live in my area. But I do think it's worth it. Like, that aspect of consumer culture, I do think it's worth spending the money for the peace of mind and the safety, to have both living in a safer area and having a security system. But let's get more into what I don't think is worth it. I don't think shopping for decor seasonally is worth it. I don't think replacing your home items regularly is worth it. Just basically, like, buying anything that you already have because you want a newer version of it, I just don't think it's worth it. And that includes cars, houses, couches, furniture, jewelry, clothing, any of that kind of stuff. I ultimately think that the reason that we're buying things like that we really don't need, like we already have things that work perfectly well for us, it's because of the brainwashing that living in our culture has done to us. Like, we are constantly surrounded by advertisements from a very, very young age. Children are surrounded by advertising at all times. On average, a child sees 1,000 advertisements a day. So if you are even thinking about that, children that we like kind of shelter more from advertising, you as an adult are experiencing so much more advertising. And in theory, maybe you would be able to overcome certain types of advertisements more easily. But we've just been conditioned from a very young age to ingest advertising and to think about, okay, if I have that new item that I'm being advertised, my life is just going to be so much better. We've just been conditioned from such a young age to fall for advertising. We've just been raised in a consumer culture, and it takes a lot of self-work to get out of that mindset. And I think we should be a little bit easier on ourselves if we do something like a no buy and we completely fall off the wagon and fail. I think it's valiant to even try a low buy or no buy. And I also think that there's a more gray, nuanced approach to this that for me, it's been a lot more helpful than a all-out no buy or low buy. So for me, the way I like to approach a no buy or low buy is by learning about the values and business practices of the companies that I support and really getting into the practice of only buying from companies that I believe in their practices. So, for example, I used to buy from Amazon. I definitely had a little bit of an Amazon shopping addiction, and I completely cut out Amazon. I deleted my Prime membership. I didn't even watch The Summer I Turned Pretty this summer, and it's just been doing wonders for my ability to restrain myself from shopping, especially shopping for things that are just completely frivolous and I do not need. I definitely was buying things like soap and laundry detergent, all those household essentials on Amazon. But while I was shopping on Amazon for those things, I would also be advertised things that I don't need, and I would so often fall for those things. So, not being shown those things has really helped me more easily live without them because I don't even know they exist. My values are only buying from companies that treat their workers properly and treat the planet properly, or do their very best to treat the planet properly. I know that you can't necessarily, no company is without fault, but if we're buying from companies that are just not even trying and that are just treating their workers so poorly that people are dying in Amazon warehouses and being permanently injured and disabled by the working conditions, what does that say about us as a culture? I just think we can do so much better than that. Also, getting off of Amazon has made me become more aware of the dystopian nature of marketing. And back when I was on Amazon, I just didn't really register how predatory it was. The way Amazon's website is set up is to make shopping fun for the consumer. Fun in the moment, fun when you're buying it, but those few seconds after you buy the thing, you're like, why did I spend my money on that? One thing that they do is they just straight up lie about their sales and their deals. They have these Prime days where they say that they're discounting their prices, and on their website, you'll see an object, for example, this is for sale, and next to it, it'll have the original price, and that price will be crossed out, and then next to it will be the sale price, and it'll be in red color, and it'll make you feel good because it's, this red sale price, and it's so much more discounted than that original price. That's not necessarily the best deal that they've ever offered. Amazon pricing is not consistent. It will change day to day willy-nilly, and it changes depending on the suppliers or the demand, and they also can change based on your individual profile. You could look up something on your Amazon profile and it could be one price, and someone a few towns down who is looking up the same thing from their profile, it could be a different price. I used to think, okay, I have this list of items that I want to buy, and I'm going to wait for the Black Friday deals, and I'm going to buy them all on Black Friday. But I'm no longer doing that, and I'm definitely not doing that this year, and I would very strongly encourage you to not do that this year because that's not necessarily the best price, first of all. And even if it's the best price it's ever been, it's never cheap enough to pay that price to hurt others. People in Amazon warehouses are in such harsh working conditions, especially during the holidays, especially around Black Friday. And I don't want to contribute to harming people just so I can get a little bit of a discount. And then let's even go up the supply chain. I don't want to contribute to buying this thing that's so cheap because it depends on coerced labor. Like, there are factories around the world where people are lured in by certain promises of pay or living conditions, and then once they get there, their passports are taken from them. They're forced to work in really harsh working conditions, and they have no way to escape. It's worth educating yourself on what's going on along the supply chain, even if something is technically not slave labor. Like, that's as close as you're going to get in this modern world. And I also want to acknowledge there is straight up slave labor in our planet still to this day in 2025. So I think just doing the best you can to find companies that are doing their best to have more sustainable, more ethical business practices is worth the possible extra cost to get an item for Black Friday or for Christmas or for whatever it is, just for your own personal use. I think it's worth seeking out those companies that are trying to do better. I think another aspect of this Buy Nothing rebellion is that we're just so done. We're so done with this marketing and advertisements that tell us that once we have this item, everything's going to be okay. Once we shell out our cash to this company, our life is just going to be so much better, and we're just going to have such an easy time once we get this product, and it never plays out. We always end up feeling lack because we're always advertised more and more stuff that will change our lives and make our lives better, and it never plays out how it is advertised. Like, it's always a lie. Having an object, having an item, having an appliance, a piece of furniture, a item of clothing, whatever it is, it's never going to fundamentally change your life. It's never going to fundamentally make your life better, with the exceptions that I talked about at the beginning of this video, being like housing, like personal safety, and perhaps education, and being able to further your career in a certain direction because of education. Consumer goods are never going to change your life. They're not going to change your personality. They're not going to make you a better person. They're not going to make you have more friends. And if you experience buying things and changing your outward appearance and getting more friends temporarily, I'm telling you temporarily, because those are not real friends. Real friends don't care about what you wear or how you look or what kind of car you drive. And if you're seeking out people like that, like, I would just encourage you to rethink that and do some self-reflection, because real friends, real friendship is not something that can be bought. I've recently been reflecting on my experience in school, specifically elementary, middle, and high school, and somewhat college, but mostly elementary, middle, and high school. I was in the gifted and talented program, and I feel like as a millennial, I was sold this idea simultaneously that I can and should change the world, and I also need to adhere to society's expectations of success to the highest degree. These two ideas are, in a lot of ways, very conflicting, but it kind of created this sense of never feeling like anything is ever enough for my generation. In no way was contentment with what I already had taught to me during my childhood. It never was brought up to me, and I'm saying that as someone who is raised in Christian schools. This is a central tenet to a lot of religions, that you should not covet what others have, and you should feel fulfilled in your personal possessions, what you already have. But this was never taught to me. It was never brought up in school, and we were always taught to strive for more and not be satisfied with what we already had. So that's something I'm going to talk about in a future video, so look out for that. But I think this is a essential thing to think about. Like, think about how you were raised and the things that you were taught in school. I feel like at this point in my life, I'm still trying to unlearn the culture that I was raised in. And I respect that the people that raised me and my teachers were trying to do their best to set me up for success in the culture that I was raised in. I don't want to just like put down teachers or put down my parents or my family. In no way. I really do think they were doing their best. But I think that I'm still trying to disentangle this underlying need for consumerism and feeling like what I have is never enough. And that's something I'm actively trying to tackle right now. And the Buy Nothing Rebellion is part of that. I think a lot of people in the Buy Nothing Rebellion are trying to heal within themselves this constant desire for more and more and more, and learn how to feel like what we already have is enough and feeling content and happiness with what we already have. And I would even go as far to say that happiness, you can only achieve real happiness if you are content with what you have in this very moment. Because if you're constantly living in a state of desire, you are not happy in your current state. You're not happy with what you already have. So I would just challenge you to really reflect on that if you want to be part of this movement, and think about how you can be content with what you already have. And I'm also actively working on this in myself. There is a movement at the end of November called No Buy Day. It's on Black Friday, and I would go so far as to say I want to participate in No Buy Weekend. So Black Friday kind of extends into that weekend after Thanksgiving in the US and includes that Monday, Cyber Monday. So I don't want to buy anything from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. It's 4 days. You can do this. It's easy. I can do this. Don't get sucked into those fake deals and those products that they're selling you or trying to sell you that ultimately harm people and the planet. I would just encourage you to take that time to spend with your family. And if you're not spending that time with your family, like, take that time for yourself. How rare is it in our culture today that we can take moments of silence for ourselves and really just enjoy peaceful time without the input of social media and consumerism and advertisements. So I'm definitely going to be participating in No Buy Weekend, which is Black Friday to Cyber Monday, and I would invite you to also participate. If you have any comments about the No Buy Rebellion, I would love to hear them. Other than that, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have the best day.